History's most powerful moments captured in rare vintage photographs from 1850 to 1970. Subscribe now to explore hidden stories behind images that changed the world. Each frame reveals secrets textbooks never taught you. Karl Wallenda performed tightrope walk 140 feet above Veterans Stadium. 67-year-old balanced on 600-foot cable during Phillies baseball doubleheader. Wallenda completed walk in 17 minutes, including headstand. Wreckage recovered from Lake Monona after Otis Redding's plane crashed in December 1967. 26-year-old singer and 4 band members died after recording Dock of the Bay. Tragic accident occurred during tour near Madison. George Willig scaled World Trade Center's South Tower exterior in 3.5 hours, signed autographs at top before arrest by authorities in 1977. City fined climber 1 penny per floor, totaling $1.10. Bride walked from recently bombed house to wedding ceremony during London Blitz, November 1940. Image embodied British keep calm and carry on spirit during raids. Woman refused to let war disrupt marriage despite destruction. Heinrich Hoffmann photographed a German political leader rehearsing speech gesture before mirror in 1925. Image captured dictator practicing theatrical hand movements and expressions. Rare behind-the-scenes glimpse of propaganda preparation techniques. San Francisco policeman confronted man for violating mandatory mask ordinance during 1918 influenza pandemic. City enforced public health regulations with fines or jail for non-compliance. 17-year-old Randy Gardner stayed awake for 11 days and 25 minutes in 1964. Stanford researcher Dr. William Dement and Latane CMDR Ross monitored health. Science fair experiment set world record for sleep deprivation. Wax bathing mannequins melted during extreme heat wave on New Bridge Street in June 1929. London newspaper The Sphere published image documenting weather damage. Incident led retailers to use melt-proof display materials. Trained retriever detected hidden flask in fisherman's pocket along Potomac River on February 23rd. Colorado agents suggested using dogs for prohibition enforcement. Dogs successfully located concealed alcohol without alerting suspect. Locomotive crashed through facade of Montparnasse Station in Paris on October 22, 1895. Train plunged from second story after brake failure on arrival. Dramatic accident became one of most famous railway disaster photographs. Soviet children wore full-body sleeping bags walking to dormitory after outdoor nap in 1930. Russian educators believed cold air exposure prevented disease and improved health. Students took naps outside even during freezing winter. French soldier Georges Roy married Marguerite Lavenu in Paris in October 1917. Roy was severely injured during World War I combat, losing his arms and eyesight. Lavenu offered to marry him after hearing of predicament in Normandy. Dorothea Lange photographed 4 families with 15 children from Texas Dust Bowl. Families traveled in sedan and truck camping roadside near Calipatria in March 1937. Family of 7 walked highway from Idabel to Krebs, Oklahoma in 1936. Father lost farm after pneumonia illness prevented work and farming operations. Refused county relief due to residency requirements after temporary relocation. From Spanish flu masks to sleep experiments, history repeats itself. Which photograph felt most relevant to today's world? Comment below and subscribe to connect past lessons with present challenges. Agricultural day laborer and family photographed near Muskogee during drought crisis. Muskogee County farmer struggled with work scarcity during Dust Bowl era. Image documented impact of environmental disaster on rural families. 7-member family from Texas encamped near Exeter, California during Dust Bowl migration. Drought refugees lived in tent with makeshift stove and provisions. Mother and children photographed outside temporary shelter during Great Depression. Arnold Newman photographed Otto Frank in attic hiding place hours before Anne Frank house opening. sole family survivor, stood where 8 people hid from 1942 to 1944. Otto published daughter's diary after war. Photograph documented largest gathering of European monarchs during King Edward VII's funeral, May 20, 1910. Last royal assembly before World War I ended monarchies. Unauthorized photograph captured Stalin's reaction upon learning German armies advanced on Kiev in August 1941. Komsomolskaya Pravda editor secretly preserved image despite destruction orders. Vietnamese revolutionary smiled after receiving lengthy prison sentence from South Vietnamese military court. National Liberation Front member predicted government wouldn't last entire sentence duration. A captured Soviet soldier was photographed in new clothing near the Arctic Circle in 1940, documenting wartime detention conditions during the Winter War. Image documented POW treatment during Soviet-Finnish conflict. Citizens of Antwerp gathered in streets hours after armistice announcement on November 11, 1918. Massive crowd celebrated end of First World War after 4 years. RMS Titanic docked in Southampton before maiden voyage to New York. Ship struck iceberg in North Atlantic early morning April 15th. Approximately 1,500 of 2,200 passengers and crew lost their lives. Sergeant William Henry Johnson of 369th Infantry Regiment wore Croix de Guerre medal around 1918. Single-handedly fought off German raiding party despite severe injuries. Harriet Tubman photographed at age 89 at her Auburn, New York home in 1911. Former enslaved person led 70 people to freedom through Underground Railroad. Abolitionist served as Union spy and suffrage activist. German-American actress Marlene Dietrich photographed in masculine attire during Hollywood career in 1930. Openly bisexual performer appeared in drag in 1940 film. Dietrich pioneered gender non-conforming fashion in cinema. Brassai photographed Fat Claude and girlfriend at Le Monocle nightclub in Paris in 1932. Groundbreaking lesbian nightclub provided space and freedom for community. 1920s image documented LGBTQ social life in interwar Paris. Fred Rogers invited Francois Clemens to share wading pool on children's television show. Scene challenged racial segregation of public swimming pools during civil rights era. Powerful statement promoted equality and acceptance to young audience. Martin Luther King Jr. photographed among crowd during March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Civil rights leader delivered famous "I Have a Dream" speech at event. March drew over 250,000 participants to nation's capital. Rosa Parks refused to surrender bus seat to white passenger on December 1, 1955. Arrest sparked 382-day bus boycott by black community protesting segregation. Suffragette leader Emmeline Pankhurst carried away from Buckingham Palace after arrest on May 21, 1914. Police detained activist attempting to present petition to King George V. Image documented women's voting rights movement in Britain. Elizabeth II formally crowned Queen at Westminster Abbey on June 2, 1953. Ascended throne February 6, 1952, following Father King George VI's death. Marketing campaign used bird food shaped as Coca-Cola logo in Venice's St. Mark's Square. Pigeons gathered to eat grain, naturally forming brand name for photograph. Photograph documented woman celebrating birthday in Tehran during pre-revolution Iran in 1973. Image captured everyday domestic life in cosmopolitan Iranian society. Passengers used coin-operated televisions and ashtrays at Los Angeles Greyhound Terminal in 1969. Individual screens provided entertainment before smartphones and portable devices existed. babies placed outside in rows to strengthen immune systems through cold exposure in Moscow, 1958. Soviet childcare believed fresh air improved infant health and resistance. Nurse supervised sleeping children in outdoor winter conditions. Transportation employee Bill Koch stood atop buried power lines during severe North Dakota blizzard. 3-day storm deposited 30 inches of snow with 70-mile-per-hour winds. Historic blizzard caused devastating agricultural losses across region. Aerospace engineer Wernher von Braun stood before 5 F-1 rocket engines around 1969. German scientist transitioned from Nazi rocket program to leading United States space technology. Michelangelo's 17-foot marble David encased in protective brick structure during World War II. Galleria dell'Accademia built barrier to prevent bomb damage to Renaissance masterpiece. Associates hid faces with hats from press photographers at Al Capone's tax evasion trial. Chicago outfit leader convicted and sentenced to 11 years in federal prison. Trial marked victory against organized crime. Young woman concealed camera in handbag to photograph Supreme Court session in 1937. Lens peeped through cut hole in purse during proceedings. Only one of 2 existing photographs as cameras forbidden. Manhattan Bridge under construction spanning East River, photographed on March 23, 1909. Bridge completed same year and opened to traffic December 31, 1909. Dwight D. Eisenhower photographed with parents and brothers on family porch around 1926. Before becoming 5-star general and president, Abilene Porch served as gathering place. Image captured future leader in domestic setting before career. Young Svetlana Stalin photographed with Soviet officials including Lavrenti Beria in 1931. Beria served as chief of Soviet security referred to as Stalin's Himmler. Historical photograph documented Stalin's inner circle during early Soviet era. Zulu King Cetshwayo photographed after defeating British forces at Battle of Isandlwana in 1878. Formally installed as king in 1873, he resisted colonial pressure. William Hutchings photographed at age 100 as last surviving Revolutionary War veteran. Image taken in Hartford, Connecticut clerk's office in 1864. Hutchings entered Congress records as Revolution survivor that year. John W. Draper captured first detailed photograph of moon from rooftop observatory. Image taken at New York University on March 26, 1840, using daguerreotype process. Geologist Thomas Griffith Taylor and meteorologist Charles Wright explored grotto in Antarctic iceberg. Terra Nova ship visible in background during Captain Robert Falcon Scott's expedition. British photographer Francis Frith captured 3 main Giza pyramids from southwest in 1857. Glass plate negatives required makeshift darkroom tent, where chemicals sizzled in desert heat. Gutzon Borglum's model showed original Mount Rushmore plan, included presidential bodies and hands. Sculptor died in 1941 before completing full vision for memorial. Project ran out of funding after son took over construction. Italian villagers of Venzone posed with naturally mummified ancestors, preserved beneath church since 1348. Dozens of bodies naturally preserved and treated as protective forebears. Catherine McHale Slaughterback photographed after remarkable encounter with 140 rattlesnakes in 1925. Known as Rattlesnake Kate, she defended herself using no hunting sign. Moonshiners wore cow shoes to disguise footprints during Prohibition enforcement on June 18, 1924. Metal attachments resembled cow hooves, concealing human tracks. Woman demonstrated concealing liquor flask in tall Russian boot during Prohibition in Washington, D.C. Photograph taken January 21, 1922, shows bootlegging trick to smuggle alcohol. Maryland Representative John Philip Hill poured liquid onto globe, symbolizing opposition to Prohibition, December 26, 1923. Vocal opponent of Volstead Act searched for wet continent. Hill determined to keep country wet. Women's Organization for National Prohibition Reform campaigned for 18th Amendment repeal in early 1930s. Activists argued Prohibition increased organized crime and corruption. Movement succeeded with ratification December 5, 1933. Governor Peter Norbeck signed South Dakota's strict prohibition law on February 12, 1917. State enacted legislation before federal 18th Amendment took effect in 1920. Federal agents confiscated massive illegal pot still during Prohibition enforcement in 1920s. Industrial-scale apparatus produced moonshine under darkness in remote locations. Equipment represented significant commercial bootlegging operation. Revenue agents documented illegal moonshine production in Florida's Palmetto Scrub during Prohibition. Commercial operation featured multiple barrels and copper still. Federal Bureau seized significant bootlegging equipment. Chemist G.F. Beyer analyzed confiscated bootleg whiskey for Internal Revenue Bureau in 1920. Bottles displayed fraudulent federal stamps and sugar-dyed coloring. Testing proved crucial during Prohibition enforcement. New York police officers poured confiscated alcohol into city sewer during 1921 Prohibition raid. Volstead Act enforcement required destruction of seized illegal beverages. Prohibition-era lasted 13 years until repeal. Prohibition officers raided lunchroom at 822 Pennsylvania Avenue on April 25, 1923. Agents inspected barrels for illegal alcohol in commercial establishments. Restaurant raids became common enforcement tactic. Federal agents destroyed 749 cases containing 18,000 beer bottles on November 20, 1923. Court-ordered destruction occurred in Washington, D.C. disposal site. Volstead Act required elimination of confiscated alcohol. 2 men posed with small pot still and barrels for illegal whiskey production. Makeshift distillation equipment produced bootleg spirits defying federal law. Image documented widespread resistance to alcohol ban. French photographer Félix Jacques Moulin captured Algerian women in studio portrait in 1856. Albumin prints exemplified Orientalist photography popular among Western audiences. Image included in Napoleon III's Algeria album. Photographer Charles Negre documented street musician performing for 2 children in Paris. Image created from waxed paper. Negative before May 1853. Photograph captured everyday working-class life in urban France. Charles Negre photographed chimney sweeps resting on Quai Bourbon in 1851. Salted paper print depicted working-class subjects in everyday street scenes. Image demonstrated early interest in capturing daily life. Felice Beato photographed Nawab's royal fish-shaped boat near Chattar Manzil Palace on River Gomti. Image documented aftermath of Indian Mutiny of 1857-1859 in Lucknow. Antoine Claudet created stereoscopic daguerreotype showing geography instruction with globe around 1850. Male instructor taught 4 girls and 1 boy. Claudet became Queen Victoria's official photographer in 1853. Austrian photographer Franz Antoine documented 2 families in formal garden setting during 1850s-60s. Group included Josephine Raymond, Marie Antoine, and Elisa Heusermann with relatives. Daguerreotype documented men outside Bernard M. Lynch's trading facility in St. Louis in 1852. Building operated as commercial structure before Civil War disrupted operations. Roger Fenton photographed British soldiers with mortars in fortified Crimean position. First official war photographer captured static scenes due to exposure limits. Image documented military encampments rather than active combat. William Henry Fox Talbot's calotype showed Crystal Palace interior during Great Exhibition in London. Joseph Paxton designed cast iron and glass structure housing international exhibits. Over 6 million visitors attended from May to October 1851. Photograph captured renowned French writer Victor Hugo during exile period around 1853. Author of Les Miserables and Hunchback of Notre Dame posed for image. Literary career spanned over 60 years across multiple genres. 2 university students relaxed in decorated dorm room at University of Illinois in 1910. Wall covered with photographs, portraits, and personal memorabilia. Image documented early 20th century college life and student culture. Female students wore pants protesting suspension of Beverly Bernstein at Abraham Lincoln High School. Girls argued slacks safer during air raids and eliminated silk stockings. Principal reversed ban after students presented petition. Rare Victorian photograph captured genuine smile-breaking era's serious portrait stereotype from late 1800s. Image contradicted belief that Victorian society lacked humor. Ruth Malcolmson crowned Miss America pageant winner in 1924 wearing ceremonial sash. Studio portrait by Underwood and Underwood captured beauty queen with curled hair. Children examined Willamette meteorite, largest found in United States, weighing 15.5 tons. 6th largest meteorite in world displayed in museum. Massive iron-nickel space rock discovered in Oregon became scientific treasure. Officers and female staff of North Wales Hospital photographed playing croquet in 1884. Dr. Llewellyn Cox and Matron Pugh featured in center of group. Victorian leisure activity allowed men and women to socialize together. Ireland's final Magdalen institution closed in 1996 following renewed public scrutiny of historical treatment within these facilities. Estimated 10,000 Irish women were placed in these Catholic-run facilities. Jacob Riis photographed cramped immigrant sleeping quarters in New York tenement in 1905. Social reformer documented harsh living conditions of foreign-born workers. 4 out of 5 New Yorkers were immigrants in 1890. Jacob Riis photographed cramped sweatshop, where workers made knee pants for 45 cents per dozen. Image exposed exploitative labor practices in 1890, New York tenements. Jacob Riis used photography to expose harsh tenement conditions in 1890 New York. Book, How the Other Half Lives, combined images and words driving reform. Photography changed city's view of poverty and sparked change. Edouard Bouba photographed cabaret dancer with man during showbreak in 1950s Paris. French humanist photographer captured everyday life with warmth and tenderness. Image exemplified Bouba's approach to documenting vitality of life. Sir Richard Owen photographed as prominent Victorian biologist and comparative anatomist in 1800s. Owen coined term dinosaur in 1842 and established Natural History Museum. Apple orchard workers photographed climbing trees using ladders in Pacific Northwest during early 1900s. Crew posed in winter or early spring before harvest season. Image documented agricultural labor in major apple-growing region. Sailors danced aboard USS Recruit, fake battleship built in Union Square in 1917. Navy constructed replica in Manhattan to recruit seamen and sell Liberty bonds. Thank you for watching this journey through forgotten history. These rare photos prove that every moment matters, every face tells a story. Subscribe and like for more hidden historical secrets. Comment below, which photo shocked you most? See you next time.